Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I had a couple more follow-up questions. Let me also, though, first recognize Congressman Joe Wilson, who I'm sure is here in support of Congresswoman Stefanik. So nice to have representation from the House Foreign Affairs Committee. Thank you. Congresswoman, the UN Security Council recently renewed the mandate for EUFOR Althea in Bosnia and Herzegovina through November 2025. It's been a constant challenge, and I worry that the UN-backed peacekeeping mission is needed now more than ever, perhaps in greater force because of the Republic of Srpska leader Milorad Dodik, who is sanctioned by the U.S., and he continues his secessionist threats. So if confirmed, will you commit to building consensus for maintaining that peacekeeping mission in the long term?
Yes.
Thank you. Another area that I'm concerned about is the work of the International Organization on Migration and the UN Refugee Agency, which is supporting thousands of displaced from the Russian-occupied territory. We know we have about 7 million Ukrainian refugees globally, 3.6 million internally displaced in Ukraine. Moldova, which is sandwiched between Ukraine and has significant Russian influence, hosts refugees that are equivalent to 5% of its population. It's dependent on UN humanitarian support especially. So if confirmed, will you continue to support these critical humanitarian operations in Ukraine and Moldova?
I think it is important that we take a look at all of our UN entities and all of our UN agencies to make sure that they deliver results and represent our values. And I want to work with the National Security Council and Secretary Rubio to do an assessment, make sure that it's results focused, and get back to you once we do that. But I want to work with Marco on that.
Good. Well, that's fair. And I think it's in our interest to help ensure that those countries who are impacted by the fallout from the conflict have the support to be able to withstand Russian influence so that they don't also fall as the result of conflict. And let me also register my support for the UNIFIL mission. Again, I think it's one that we need to examine and see how we ensure that they continue to be a strong bulwark against Hezbollah and what's happening in Lebanon, but we need to ensure that there is somebody there to address the peacekeeping that needs to continue now as the result of Lebanon has actually made some real progress in getting a president in place and a prime minister who are outside of the influence of Hezbollah. I think anything we can do to ensure that continues is really important. With that said, I also want to go back to Syria because you talked a little bit about the concern about HTS and what they will continue to do in Syria has come up in the questioning. The fall of Assad probably dealt as big a blow to Iran and Russia as anything that's happened in the Middle East in recent years. And I think it's important for us to think about how we fill that vacuum, because if we don't, or if those people who support freedom, support the opportunity for self-determination for the Syrian people, then we know that Iran and Russia and other players will come back into the region. So can you talk a little bit about how you think we can ensure that humanitarian aid continues to get through into Syria and that the UN can engage to ensure that we don't have our adversaries filling that vacuum?
I'm deeply concerned about our adversaries filling that vacuum. I also think that it's important that we continue to ensure that there is not another reign, frankly, of terror against the Syrian people. It's a very complex, there are open questions, and I want to work with Secretary Rubio and President Trump to ensure we have a real verification process. Go back to Reagan, trust but verify. I think that's really, really important before I make any commitments here today. And certainly I'm not going to get ahead of the president. There is no question that Assad's fall is a major blow to Iran, and it is an opportunity in the region for a people that have been human rights abuse, have been slaughtered by the Assad regime, the use of chemical weapons, and that's over the course while I've been in Congress as we've pushed back, and I credit President Trump for his effective military response to when Assad used chemical weapons. So I think I will commit to this committee that I'm going to work with the National Security Council, but will support the President's approach in a very unique and this moment in time where there's real opportunity, but we want to make sure that there's not terror.
I appreciate that, and I look forward to working with you. And again, I think time is of the essence here, and we don't have a lot of time to look at what the options are before our adversaries move in. Thank you.